home builders filing for bankruptcy. That's right. That's exactly what you heard, is that home builders are filing for bankruptcy nationwide. I have one here in Florida and I have one here locally in my housing market. Now I'm going to share with you, as I did in previous videos, that bankruptcies are hitting the highest level since COVID. And these bankruptcies are starting to roll out to home builders. And what does this mean for you as a home buyer? Now, things haven't settled in the economy and things haven't settled in the housing market. And of course, housing is something that always crashes after the economy does. People need a roof over their head. They're going to give up on everything before they give up on their house, on their home. Well, in the second half of 2022, we saw prices drop. Now I'm going to get here to what's going on with these bankruptcies nationwide, and also a personal story that a buyer of mine was facing with a local home builder in our housing market. But right here, if we take a look at the second half of 2022, in my local housing market, prices dropped, median home price $600,000 all the way down to $510,000, which was equal to 15%. Nationwide, that was 10%. That was the second half of 2022 with a 3.6% interest, or a 3.6% unemployment rate. Well, unemployment rate now is in the low fours and it's anticipated to start ticking up. Well, if the housing market had a correction in a historically low unemployment levels, and that's not supposed to happen because housing is the last thing that breaks, what happens when we do see the recession? So just keep that in mind right here. Now, I'm going to go back to these articles with the home builders that are filing for bankruptcies. So right here, a living nightmare. Florida homebuyers left with unfinished homes after builder goes bankrupt. And right here, if you take a look, this buyer bought the land premium up front for $20,000 and put $15,000 of his $184,000 cost of the home. Probably upgrades. Maybe the builder was requiring some builder, these contracts that builders use are written by their lawyers. Now, luckily, the buyer that I was representing that went under contract with a new construction home, we were able to use our association of realtors new construction contract because this private small local home builder did not have a lawyer that wrote out a contract for him. Thank God. I'm going to get to that story. Pretty crazy. He tried to put a water heater that was discontinued in 2018 and the inspector caught it. But the funniest thing is this buyer that I'm representing, he owns a plumbing company. So he tries to put a water heater that was discontinued in 2018 and 2025 to a plumber buyer. Wild. But I'll get back to that story. Right here, you're seeing in Florida, bought this home. He's in it, almost $200,000, this buyer. I saw finished houses that was the exact same as my model. And I had built homes up north in subdivisions and everything had gone smoothly. Well, that happens when there are no recessions and when home builders aren't going bankrupt, when everything's just going up prices. Now, this buyer figured that the experience would be the same. However, the buyer has nearly paid $200,000 for his planned retirement house, and the work has completely stopped last summer. So if you take a look, this was published here in May, but this bankruptcy with this builder started essentially in 2024. Now, if we go over here to my local housing market, now this is the more expensive part of the greater Salt Lake City area, Park City, where the 2002 Olympics were at and where the Olympics are going to be coming here in 10 years. So if you take a look, Summit County luxury community Wohali files for bankruptcy. Now, right here, this company behind the 5,000 acres of luxury homes and a golf course community filed for bankruptcy under Chapter 11. Now, they're going to try to complete this, but Wohali owes more money than to 40 different creditors. And we'll see how that goes, if they're going to be able to get away with it with a Chapter 11. But right here, you're seeing that bankruptcies are hitting the highest level since COVID. You're seeing it here in Florida. You're seeing it really nationwide in my local housing market. And this is the Summit County. So this is the greater Park City area where the Olympics are about to be in 10 years. Now, to my story with my buyer that I was representing. We put their house on the market. We get a buyer on their house after 60 days on the market. We were going to do a simultaneous close on their sale and on their buy. Well, we closed on the sale, and luckily this buyer, I was able to negotiate for them to get a lease back. Now, I'm going to continue with the story, but before I do, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is why it's important to follow all the data that you can and to make sure you find yourself a good real estate agent in your local housing market that's going to be truthful and share this kind of information that they have access to, things that they find out. Now, this buyer is a plumber, and this builder tried to put that 2018 water heater. So again, simultaneous close, and now they're stuck with not having a home. Luckily, we get that lease back, and we're now under contract on another home that's the existing home, not new construction, so everything is good. But this builder was blaming everybody, and we ended up running into the local small private home builder when I was showing homes to these buyers. He was there, and he was saying, oh yeah, I fired those guys, they didn't do a good job, I'll touch that up, I'll touch this up, don't worry about it, we'll have the certificate of occupancy in 2 weeks. 2 weeks go by, nothing has been touched. And I mean nothing. We're going, what the heck is going on? Our buyer is a week away from closing on our house, and nothing has been done here. The front lawn hasn't been put in. There are no sprinklers. What the heck is going on? So we get the inspection. The inspector finds out and goes, this water heater was not installed by a professional plumber. And that's the same feeling that the plumber himself had, who's the buyer on this home. And then the appliances were all banged up. So this builder put dinged up appliances in this home, thinking we aren't going to see them, or hoping that it's just going to pass. Don't know where he got them. If he got them at the, anyway, banged up outlets. And the inspector says he was blaming everybody when I came there. Wouldn't take any ownership. So what I think happened was, because when we met him there, well, he was there when we were touring the house. He gave us some information. He had a partner. Well, that partner is no longer with him on these homes. He also has 7 different liens. Luckily, again, we were able to use our contract. I was able to use my title company. They have 7 different liens on this property because he even owes back taxes. I mean, wild bunker stuff going on. So we backed out. Like I said, now they're under contract, but it's just showing you that there is a lot going on in the housing market, in the economy. I mean, you're seeing these bankruptcies in a luxury community, somewhere where the Olympics are about to happen. And some people feel like, well, the Olympics coming, there's nothing that can happen to the Utah housing market. And yet we are seeing that correction. And in the second half of 2022, we saw one of the biggest corrections with a historically low unemployment rate. Now, going back to what's going on here, like I said, you're having it in luxury communities, in places where the Olympics are about to be. You're having it in Florida. You're having it nationwide. And bankruptcies are hitting the highest levels since COVID. So if you haven't, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. You won't find this kind of data information anywhere else. And that's why it's important that you're following what's going on in your local housing market nationwide, and that you find yourself a real estate agent that is going to be truthful and actually share with you information and actually understands what's even going on in your local housing market.